Indie games can sometimes fall into a broad category, but most people could at least agree that these guys are all indie. Yes, you too. You see, I had this idea, right? New game drops, everyone's writing fanfic, making art, and that's cool. Meanwhile, Gregoire is power scaling the big bads of the franchise to see if my OCs are balanced. They're not. So my thought was, what if I take some of the most popular indie games, with some exceptions, and power scale their strongest characters until we can definitively pick out the most powerful character in the entire indieverse. And that's exactly what I did. Here's them rules. I'm picking out 5 characters, if there is that many, and analyzing them and their feats of power to single out the strongest of their respective game. We will then put them in a tournament bracket against their fellow strongest until we come to a rousing conclusion. So let's get into it. Welcome to Australia. The Forsaken Kingdoms of Farloom and Hollownest are home to some of the most powerful bugs I've ever seen in fiction. Upstanding citizen Genesect would be thrashed by the absolute thugs that live in this universe. Here's my pick. The Shade Lord is a godlike eldritch being made up entirely of void, the mysterious and ancient living substance that covers the bedrock layers of both kingdoms, theoretically. It was originally summoned by the Godseeker during the Knight's fight against Absolute Radiance, in which they seem to have become one, along with the Hollow Knight. Its greatest feats of power are devouring 2 other godly beings on my list, the aforementioned Radiance and Grandmother Silk. So yeah, this is kind of like the top dog of Hollow Knight so far. I like Hornet more as a character, but dude, I'm sorry. She is like, not even in Grandmother Silk fusion form at the same level as Little Ghost in the Shadow Gang. The Pale King was also on this list, but we never got a real demonstration of his power. There was an old Hollow Knight animation project, which depicted the Pale Knight having something of a skirmish with the Radiance, and I like this line of thought a lot. I like to think this did happen at some point or another. But what really happened in game was probably more along the lines of the bugs that worship the Radiance just stopped worshipping it and it kind of, was taken out of the picture. But there is also a slight implication that the Godseekers came to Hollownest in search of their god of gods, which at the time probably meant the Pale King. But that never came to pass, so Shade Lord it is.
I've been crushed by a fucking camera twice!
So I don't even really need to waste much time with the strongest character in Ultra Kill, right? God, the Father, is canonically depressed and unpresent in Ultra Kill, leaving Hell itself as the hypothetical strongest entity in Ultra Kill besides V1, because V1 just kind of kills everything it comes across, and its greatest feat so far is beating Sisyphus Prime. I find this being hard to place in a battle because it gives me Gravemind from Halo vibes, and like, you know that the Gravemind is a devourer of universes and is practically immortal, but how would it even fight a character like V1? Oh, it's so powerful God himself couldn't stop. Oh, cool. Yeah, okay. But how am I supposed to explain that? I don't know its feats of power. The game isn't finished yet. V1. It's just V1. Lunatic Cultist. Powerful sorcerer equipped with dark and elemental magic with few equals. Empress of Light. A being capable of tearing at reality itself with its radiance. Moonlord. The remnants of the ancient deity Cthulhu, the final and most destructive being Terraria has ever known. Oh, the Terrarian just killed all of them. At the same time, this character, us, literally has no equal in this world unless you count Yharm, but that's Calamity and we're not gonna go there.
Oh, look, a strawberry.
Oh, look, a strawberry. I really like it.
Is this some kind of sick joke, Gregoire? Yeah, I'm sorry. Madeline fused with Madeline is the strongest character in Celeste, and I'm sorry. You've seen Indie Cross, right? So here's the thing about this universe. The closest thing to a godlike being I could find is the fucking Trouble King, which makes me uncomfortable. And the Enchantress probably would have beat Shovel Knight one-on-one, but Shovel Knight canonically beat Kratos? Dude, you got me fucked up. Well, that answers our question.
Damn, your girl so fine, but her breath is like...
Okay, so Nico on their own is probably barely average human level. However, Nico possesses the ability to call on God to manipulate time and space. So, there you go. So, I am something of a Gungeon lore aficionado, and the true answer to the question of who is the strongest in Enter the Gungeon is Caliber. Or maybe Young Venus, since it appears to be a play on Bill Cipher, and you know that freak of nature is beyond strength. But Gregoire, we don't see any feats of power from these characters. Shut up! I know that, Barbara. That's why the strongest character in the Gungeon is the Lich. Technically, any of the playable characters are capable of defeating the Lich, but I hate to let a dependency on weapon choice and RNG dictate who can and cannot beat the Lich. So it's just gonna be the Lich.
Woe the devil your soul! I ain't too worried about it. Hey, boys!
This is another easy pick. Mugman and Cuphead canonically defeat every boss in the game. But Cuphead is the main protagonist. Sorry, Muggsy. Now this is where I'm meant to be. This is my stomping grounds. I am the most equipped to give you a proper answer on the strongest character in this universe. The Roaring Knight is a formidable opponent, but other than beating our little ragtag group of heroes, we don't really have any major displays of its power. I mean, we've seen Chris and Susie make fountains, and they don't really seem to have a damaging aura of effect. So what kind of haymakers does the Knight even have? Guys, not every character that looks like Necrozma is gonna be nigh omnipotent, okay? Is this thing even small city level? Could it withstand the crushing force of Noel Holiday? That's my other pick, by the way. That and... this character, I don't think people realize, is really strong. Like, super strong. And like, guys, it doesn't always boil down to, oh, you think they're bigger so they're stronger. It isn't always about that. Alright? It's just, like, did you not see that it took every Darkner in Chapter 2 to even come close to fighting this thing, and even then, they still lost? People like to make the point that Gigaqueen was only able to insta-kill Chapter 2, Fun Gang. Dude, it's not like they became that much stronger between 2 chapters. Susie got an axe, we got a pair of fucking glasses, and I guess a rag? This character is roughly 219 feet tall. That's as tall as a self-supporting cell tower. But I wouldn't know, I'm not a tower climber anymore. Ready? Set, go! Noel uses sheer cold on the Knight. It's dead on the spot. They didn't even need a stab bonus. Giga Queen pummels Noel into a pile of gear dust and oh shit, it's a Titan! Giga Queen powers up. Dragon Ball, Beam Clash, and then... Alright guys, you all gave it your best attempt. This is the most powerful character in this universe, and it's not even close. So, now that we've collected our final contestants, it's time to start putting them in brackets and see who comes out on top. Now, before you say this isn't fair, they are both using items that make them a lot stronger than they would normally be. One is just infinitely better than the other. Cuphead's greatest feat of power is defeating the devil, which in game lore, not show lore, show is not canon, is about a 7A mountain level on the power scale. While Nico's son is like 3A universal. As goofy as this sounds, Nico lives to see another day. This is a very interesting match. If Shovel Knight canonically defeated Kratos, that means that he's somewhere between planetary level, maybe higher. As crazy as that sounds, fans are a little split on the true power of Kratos, so I just met in the middle. There's no way in hell Shovel Knight is universal. This is the description of the solar fragments the Terrarian uses to forge some of the weapons and armor in their arsenal. Contains the fury of the universe. The Terrarian easily defeats the Moonlord, a being that is at least star level in terms of power. I'm sorry guys, but I don't think Shovel Knight can survive the power of the sun. The Lich is about a small star level. He is capable of withstanding the power of a black hole, among other things. Possesses powerful dark sorcery, teleportation, potentially time manipulation. This guy's no joke. However, Azrael Dreamer is a violent fucking threat. This is our first multiversal character on this list. Azrael is a god with unfathomable power, with the ability to erase and create universes at a whim. Unfortunately for the Lich, this is no contest. Make no mistake, people, it is artistic expression. Hollow Knight characters are not actually bug-sized. This is a really powerful creature, with dimension-altering abilities that potentially put it at a galaxy tier or higher. The Shade Lord consumed this thing without breaking a sweat. Then it consumed another deity. Might have even consumed this deity too. The Shade Lord might just be a universal threat, especially if the void truly extends throughout the entire world of Hollow Knight. And V1, it's really hard to rank V1 because its durability might be star level, its stamina as well, its offensive capabilities might be star level. It defeated Sisyphus Prime, Minos Prime, even Gabriel, but a lot of these guys you could argue are only small city level if you don't consider their somewhat unused cosmic abilities. Until we see the end of Ultra Kill, we don't know for sure if V1 manages to somehow destroy Hell itself. If something like that happened, I think I would be more confident in saying they could take this fight. But for now, I think Shadelord takes the dub. Oh, this isn't going according to plan at all. Nico wasn't supposed to get this far, man. So, the Terrarian eats up nigh omnipotent beings for breakfast, and we can all agree on that, right? But the ancient unnamed gods of Terraria, the ones that the Moonlord himself can't touch, those are also out of the Terrarian's league. That's actual omnipotence at work. And until we see the Terrarian without mods kill one of these said beings, the god that aids Nico is probably winning this fight. So, the Shadelord is supreme ruler over its realm. And outside its realm in the greater universe of Hollow Knight, it is clearly a force to be reckoned with. But what about beyond that? Out to the multiverse. My friend, that is Azrael Dreamer. He could create an entirely new Shadelord to fight the Shadelord if he wanted to. The implications of his abilities are so absurd, I don't even know what's going to happen when he faces Nico. I lied, I actually do know how this is going to turn out. The god from One Shot is an omnipotent powerhouse that can destroy its universe at a whim if it's so pleased. Azrael can destroy multiple at once. This is a crazy powerful character, and he is taking home the grand prize of my approval. When I start to think of characters that could potentially defeat Azrael, my mind goes to one above all, Xeno. I used to believe Bill Cipher could, Alien X probably, but I mean you guys all know these aren't indie game characters, right? Okay, cool. There is one creature that I can say with almost 100% certainty would mop the floor with the god of hyperdeath. A being so powerful it's beyond our mortal comprehension. Terrible, mighty, indescribable.